As Jim said, I'm Jana Telfer, and in real life, I'm the Associate Director for Communication Science for the National Center for Environmental Health and Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which means I have quite possibly the longest title in government. And I challenge you to do better than that one. In our center, the work that we do involves environmental events, and that includes events like earthquakes, tsunamis, and chemical, nuclear, and radiological accidents. So for us, this is sort of the trifecta of environmental events. But at the same time, we are honored and privileged to be here as from the Department of Health and Human Services. We have been here, some of us, for coming up on 3 weeks. We've been privileged to work with the people in the embassy, and you will see at several points during this very brief PowerPoint presentation that I have, because they don't let us leave CDC without a PowerPoint presentation, the embassy website. And so if you are not already familiar with it, I invite you to copy that URL down so that you become familiar with it, because the embassy is offering you a wide variety of resources and is a very good resource for you to keep up to date, not only about this event and how it evolves, but about other things that can be of help to you in the American community here in Tokyo. We are, first of all, very touched and profoundly moved by the disaster that has occurred here and by the enormous impact it's had not only on the American citizens, but certainly and more profoundly on the country of Japan. Throughout this response, we have been lifted in our own spirits by the resilience shown by the Japanese people, by the courage, by the strength, and the outpouring of support that's coming from the United States and from other countries certainly recognizes that as well. So first of all, our hearts go out to everybody who has lived through this extraordinary event. When things like this happen, and I hate to do this, but next slide, please. When things like this happen, we start to perceive risk in a different way. Now, I don't know about you, but I got up this morning when the alarm went off, put my feet over the side of the bed, and more or less bounded out of bed. It was a fairly early hour, but my chances of something bad happening to me between my hotel room and the first floor of the hotel were something like 1 in 13. If my cat had been in Japan with me, the odds of something bad happening would probably have gone up substantially. And yet I don't think about putting my feet over the side of the bed in the morning. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't think about getting in my car and getting on I-85, but I should think about that very seriously, because the chances of something bad happening to me between my garage and the workplace are extraordinarily high in Atlanta. But I'm not concerned about those things because they're within my control. What our research shows in communication is that we perceive risk not just as the statistics, but as the statistics plus the degree of control over that we have over it. So when something like a tsunami occurs, or an earthquake, or a nuclear power accident, we have very little control, very little influence over the course of events. And so our anxiety goes up, our desire to have information goes up, and our degree of concern about it goes up because it's outside of our experience. And certainly this combination of events is outside the experience of anyone on the planet. You are the first population to be dealing with this. So the things that you learn, the things that you do, are teaching all of us as we move forward in the future and try to plan for other events that may occur. Would you go to the next slide, kindly? Thank you. So what do you want after a disaster? Research shows that people pretty much want the same things no matter where they are, no matter what the nature of the disaster. And one of the first things that we want is we want facts to protect ourselves, our families, and for U.S. citizens, almost always our pets. We want the ability to make informed decisions with good information, which is surpassingly difficult in an event like this where we don't know what's happening, we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't have a good understanding of events as they're developing. In many cases, especially in the U.S., we want an active participatory role in the response. We want to be part of it, which is why there is such an outpouring always of generosity when an event anywhere in the world occurs. We want, and these things happen in about this order, we want to be sure the government is doing a good job with the money that we have entrusted to them. And finally, we want things to get back to normal, although they almost never do, but we want them to get back into that realm of control that we have. Next, please. So, in a circumstance like this, what we most need, first of all, is information. So I want to bring you three things that the embassy, U.S. Embassy here in Tokyo has done. First of all, we have a website and we have health pages on the website. So there is health information that links you to data that are provided by Japanese government agencies and agencies within the prefectures, as well as U.S. government agencies. So as the event evolves, as new data are posted, you can find those links very easily off the website, and we've added information about other events that may occur in Japan, and as new health information may develop, not only for this but for other activities, we encourage you to come to the website to take a look at this. Next. If you have not signed up for Twitter, this is a good time to be part of the 21st century. Ambassador Roos has been tweeting regularly throughout this event. Last we heard, he does trail Lady Gaga slightly. So if you would kindly follow up and retweet what he says, then you'll maybe help him surpass one of the most recognized popular figures in the world. But he's sending out daily messages about what the embassy is doing, what the U.S. government is doing, where you can find information and new information that's coming available. So it's a good way to stay in touch with not only the embassy, but what's going on generally. And then finally, the embassy is posting a great deal of information on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, search for U.S. Embassy Japan, or go to the embassy website and get onto it from that location, or search for the YouTube channel for the embassy, and you'll find a compendium of information, including information from our specialists today.